Edinburgh rose in the 12th century as a fortress on Castle Rock, a natural stronghold chosen by King David around 1130 to secure royal power. This rocky outcrop became the heart of a growing town. Yet from the beginning, it also served as the grim site of public executions and political purges that left lasting scars on its stones. From the 1560s, under King James VI, Scotland launched intense witch hunts. Thousands of people, mostly women, were accused and executed after brutal trials. Court records from 1597 show James himself wrote Daemonologie, a book that fueled these persecutions across the kingdom. The witch hunts peaked in waves, 1662 to 1664, and again in 1697, with mass trials where suspects were tortured into confessions, then hanged or burned. Surviving court archives and chronicles record hundreds of executions, showing how fear and superstition gripped the city. Executions were public spectacles on Castle Hill, a place where kings displayed power through cruelty. Royal decrees and eyewitness accounts describe crowds watching the condemned meet their fate, turning justice into a tool of fear and control. The witch hunts stemmed from the Protestant Reformation's fear of the devil. Scotland's Witchcraft Act of 1563, documented in parliamentary records, criminalized sorcery as heresy, sparking mass accusations amid religious wars and social unrest. It intensified when King James VI survived a storm in 1589. Blaming witches, he launched the North Berwick trials, documented in court transcripts, where 70 people were accused of plotting against him through magic. These roots in fear and religion shaped today's Edinburgh. Museums like the People's Story and festivals like the Fringe explore this past, fostering lessons on tolerance and justice that echo in modern discussions on human rights. In 1645, bubonic plague swept through Edinburgh, one of the deadliest outbreaks in Scottish history. Historical records show the city council ordered infected houses sealed, trapping families inside to die, while the disease killed up to half the population in some areas. The outbreak was documented in council minutes and church records. Infected households were locked, red crosses painted on doors, and guards posted to prevent escape. This brutal containment policy saved some lives, but condemned many to die in isolation. Mary King's Close, a narrow underground street, was sealed during the plague, trapping residents inside. Archaeological excavations and council records from 1645 confirm it became a mass grave, with bodies left in the darkness. The Plague Council imposed strict quarantines. Ships were inspected, goods burned, and infected areas isolated, as detailed in surviving municipal records. These measures slowed the spread, but caused immense suffering and economic collapse. The 1645 plague killed thousands and reshaped the city. Many closes were abandoned or sealed, creating the underground network that later became slums and tourist attractions, as shown in archaeological findings. Plague survivors rebuilt with stricter sanitation laws. Council records show new drainage and building codes, laying the foundation for Edinburgh's modern infrastructure and public health systems. The 1645 plague shaped Edinburgh's identity. Its underground streets became tourist sites, while the tragedy taught lessons in public health that resonate in modern pandemics and city planning. In the late 18th century, Edinburgh built the South Bridge to connect the old town to the growing south side. But beneath it, 120 vaults were created for storage and workshops. Council records from 1788 show how these dark spaces soon became overcrowded homes for the city's poorest residents. By the early 19th century, the vaults housed hundreds of families in squalor, documented in poor law records and sanitary reports. Flooding, poor ventilation, and overcrowding turned these spaces into breeding grounds for disease and crime. Sanitary reports from the 1840s describe the vaults as dens of filth, with no light, no sanitation, and constant dampness. The council eventually evicted residents, leaving the spaces abandoned until their rediscovery in the 1980s. The vaults became infamous for crime and prostitution. Newspaper accounts from the 1830s-1840s report murders and robberies in the darkness. This reputation led to their closure by the city authorities in the mid-19th century. Archaeological digs in the 1980s-1990s uncovered artifacts and human remains, confirming the vault's use as homes and burial places. These findings are now displayed in museums and form the basis of popular underground tours. The vault's history influenced Edinburgh's urban planning. The city learned from overcrowding and disease, introducing better sanitation and housing laws that shaped the modern city's infrastructure and public health standards. Today, the South Bridge. Vaults are one of Edinburgh's top attractions. Their tragic past is preserved through guided tours and museums, turning a story of poverty and suffering into a powerful lesson about social inequality and urban resilience. Edinburgh has never been just a city. It is a mirror cracked down the middle. To the north lies the enlightened new town with its straight lines and rational mind. To the south, the old town, a labyrinth of shadows, sin, and memory that still whispers the city's deepest truths. Walking these misty closes, Robert Louis Stevenson understood the city's greatest truth. Every human heart holds two souls. The rational Dr. Jekyll and the monstrous Mr. Hyde. Edinburgh is the living embodiment of that eternal struggle between light and darkness. But to let the light of progress shine brighter, Edinburgh paid a terrible price. In the 19th century, it became the world's capital of medicine. Yet great anatomists needed bodies, turning death into a grim business. While the wealthy built monuments, the poor protected their dead with iron cages over graves, to stop body snatchers from selling them to dissection rooms for a few pounds. This grim trade set the stage for Burke and Hare. Burke and Hare took it further. They stopped waiting for death and began creating it. Their crimes, documented in court records, still haunt Greyfriars Kirkyard, where shadows linger among the tombstones. Witch hunts, cries of the plagued, whispers in damp vaults. None of it vanished. Edinburgh did not banish its demons. It made them legends. Today it is Europe's most haunted city, but these ghosts are more than scary tales. They are reminders of survival. When you walk the Royal Mile, remember, beneath your feet lie entire worlds. Edinburgh's history is not written in books. It is soaked into this gray stone. A city that chose to remember everything. A city where the past is always within reach.